Good morning, traders. Welcome to Trading Together. I'm Mel Gacee. Today is Wednesday, February the 18th. How's everybody doing today? It was an interesting day in the market this morning, and it has been overnight as well. We're going to talk about that here in just a minute. But first, I just want to welcome you and say thank you for being here. This is a friendly, interactive place. I welcome traders of all levels. I'm here to trade live in front of you. I'm here to teach and to train and to do some market analysis. So this is a place for you to drop your questions and your comments, and don't be shy. Just say hello, and let's get to know each other a little bit, and let me help you with your trading journey. Okay. All right. So we're going to kind of analyze what's going on so far today. The couple of things to bear in mind. So we have what's called OPEX, options expiration. That is where the monthly options come due at the end of the month, or usually it's the third Friday of the month. The options are expiring, meaning that big money is going to have to shift their positions out of this current cycle, this current monthly expiration, and move into new positions for the following month or months. That is what happens during OPEX, and that can be a turbulent time. We can see wide swings, both up and down, as the market makers really kind of need to push this price around to where they need it to be. So that is one thing that we have coming up. We also have today, we're going to get the FOMC meeting minutes, and that's going to tell us basically what were the participants thinking during the meeting. They're the notes, they're the minutes. Who was on board with keeping rates the same? Who wanted a rate cut? Who wanted to hike the rates? All of these things help the market to decide kind of what are the odds of getting another rate cut. And the market really wants rate cuts. It's free money. That money kind of gets funneled back into the hands of the wealthy, or the hands of the stock market participants. You do see that happen a lot, and it usually winds up going back into the stock market. So as we await those meeting minutes, we can see some moves happening there. With the combination of OPEX happening on Friday, and on Friday, we're going to get PCE. That is the personal consumption expenditures. And that is what the Fed likes to look at as their preferred gauge of inflation. So we have a couple of things that help us gauge inflation. The CPI is one of them. The PPI is one of them. But PCE is what the Feds like the most. That's the one they look at the most. And so as PCE comes out, if we start to see inflation coming down, which is hogwash, everybody knows inflation is not coming down. We're all paying much more than we ever have in the past, but they will still try to tell us that inflation is coming down. And as long as those numbers look like inflation's coming down, then the Fed is going to be more likely to implement rate cuts. So that is what the market is going to be watching for and waiting for and looking for. And so all of these things are going to make for some volatility in the market. Options expiration, PCE on Friday, FOMC minutes today. So all of these things are going to be giving us some volatility. We could be seeing some movements, okay? So let's take a look at these charts. We have been getting a buy the dip environment. So yesterday we had a deep dip. I'll show you the chart. We had a deep dip, and then we came back up. We had a dip below the 100-day moving average, and then we came back up and recaptured it. That was bullish. Now, since we've recaptured the 100, we have had a buy the dip. And I'll show you the daily chart here, because this is something that this pattern has been repeating here for several weeks. Let's take a look. We're basically in the big picture, we are in consolidation or chop or range bound in the big picture. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So the SPX is our S&P 500 index. Make sure you guys can see this. Great. Good morning, Anna. Good to see you. All right. So we can see, let me move this just a little bit. Really, since about the end of October, right in here, we did get this strong dip. But really, since about here, we've been living in this zone. So with the exception of this little V right here, we've kind of been living in this zone. And we have been getting a consistent rise and dump, rise and dump, rise and dump, rise and dump. And it's happened over and over and over again. The most recent last three drops have gotten us down to about this 67.75 level. This one was a little bit higher. We've come down to this level and it has touched and bounced 3 times now. So we would call that a triple bottom, which is bullish. A triple bottom is bullish. We came down here yesterday. Look at how low we dipped down to the 67.75, but came back up with a strong push, recovered this green line. This is the 100-day moving average. We recovered that, bounced over it, and today we are getting a very strong candle. We're up almost a full percent. So looking at basically 65, 63 points up. And we have come up over the 50-day moving average, over the 21. We just beat this 6,900 resistance / support level. And we have been climbing strongly today. So that's the big picture. Now, can we run back up here and hit a new all-time high? Yes, we sure can. Yes, we sure can. I do think that the market is in trouble. It looks like it to me, but that doesn't mean we can't push up here and come grab a new all-time high. We certainly can. That's what it's looking like. So we'll be watching this. The idea is that we are in this zone, and here's the beauty of being a day trader. People that are swing trading this or even holding stock, they are getting chopped up. They're up and down and up and down and up and down, right? We as day traders, we start the day fresh every day. I'm rarely holding longer term positions. So as day traders, we're able to pivot quickly on our feet, right? We get a day like this and we can trade that. We get a day like this and we can trade that. It's not chopping us up. We are able to see what the day is giving us. And what I like to say is we trade like water. We are flowing with the market. What the market gives us, that's what we're going to trade. And so today, what's it giving us? It's giving us a bounce. Now, that doesn't mean we can't trade puts today. I have traded puts a couple of times today. But by and large, today is a bullish day. So we have to keep that in mind. And you're usually going to make more money going with the flow, going where big money is going. So that's the good news, guys. We're light on our feet. We get to change our direction every day and make money and profit from all of this jumping around, right? All right, let me get back over to our minute chart and let's talk about how do we want to trade today. We've just hit a high, 688.9. That's a great level right there. There is a little bit of a higher high that is a target overhead, and I will show you that in just a minute, but let me get back to my ES chart. All right, and here's our minute. Okay. So right now, if we zoom out, we can see this strong push up, right? So we opened up the morning coming in. This is our open right here. Pushed up, pulled down, and then whoosh, rocket ship straight up. And now we've kind of are getting this stair step, little stair steps up and up and up. So this is definitely a bullish day. And now that's not to say that we can't drop. So remember, our VIX is still slightly elevated. We do still have OPEX coming up. So both of those things mean we can get swings. Can we dump it down today? Yeah, we sure can. So we've got to be aware and careful of what we're doing here. Looking at our volumes, we can see on the options chain that we've got the majority of the options being traded. The highest volume is being traded right here at the 689 calls. Then we've got the next highest sitting right here at 688 calls, and then 690 calls. So these are the three highest options being traded: 88, 89, and 90 calls. On the put side, the highest is the 688 calls, followed by puts, followed by the 687 puts. So basically the volume is on the side of the calls at this moment. And again, 689 is the highest. Now, we want to be careful here buying calls because we've already hit 689 for all intents and purposes. 688.9 is basically 689. So we do still have a target overhead at 690, but we don't have to hit that. So I'm going to be cautious here at this level because this is looking like at least a temporary top. We can go higher. The gamma is sitting, the call wall is sitting at 690. So we are in positive gamma with the call wall sitting at 690. That's another indicator that we could move up higher. The put wall is sitting at 682, but the gamma is definitely squarely in positive call territory, at least for now. It can change, but at least for now, gamma is sitting in positive territory. So all things considered, we're going to be careful here trying to trade anything to the upside. I'm not saying we can't come up here and grab 690. We can, but I'm going to be watching it. We're slowing down a bit here, building, kind of this little temporary top. It doesn't, like I said, doesn't mean we can't pop up, but I'm going to be cautious. We could get a down move as well. So I'm watching right now. It's just a little bit sideways and we're just waiting to see if we're going to make another leg up, which is what we've been doing all morning, or we're going to get maybe a leg down. So let's keep our eyes on that. The VIX is giving us a small climb here, nothing major. We came down and hit a bottom here at 18.4. And then we've sort of been a little bit climbing, but not much, not much. So again, could we take calls up here? Yes, we could. But if I did, which I'm not feeling at this moment, but if I did, I would make it really small and fast. Because we have a short-term top right here at 688.96. And they could come up and break it because like we see here, there is a pattern, right? These tiny little stair steps up. That's what's happening here. So another small little push here. We've got this sideways top still building, still going sideways. feeling a little negative. If we kind of look at the MACD here, we can sort of see this downward pressure from the MACD starting way over here. Even though we've climbed, the MACD is sort of saying, I don't know about that. The momentum isn't really keeping pace. So just kind of watching this MACD, it is sort of looking a little bit negative, but that doesn't mean we can't turn and climb here. So we're just watching right now. As far as what we've got going on with the leaders today, we've got silver up nicely today at 6.5%. So that's pretty nice move for silver. And we do have a lot of the Mag 7s. That's the Magnificent Seven, these giant tech stocks. We do see a lot of them moving up today. So Amazon is up 2.1, NVIDIA is up 2.6. NVIDIA just announced a partnership with Meta to provide chips to Meta. So that was a nice boost for NVIDIA. Gold up a little bit, Broadcom up. The Mag 7 as a whole, the whole ETF is up nicely today, over 1%. Microsoft is up 1%. Tesla is up 1%. So all of the Mag 7s looking nice and green today. Meta is kind of dragging, at its flat line, but really most of the rest of the Mag 7s are looking nice and strong today. All right, here we go. A little downward piece of this range here. So you can see there's kind of a little tiny range right here that we've been in for about, 10, 11, 20, almost an hour, right? Nothing super strong to the upside, nothing super strong to the downside, just ranging is what we're still doing, is ranging. So here we are. But again, remember what I was saying, the MACD was starting to look a little negative. So we're almost moving negative here on the MACD. The histogram itself is negative. You can see that it's red. This is the histogram piece of the MACD. But these average lines, these moving averages, these have not dipped down below the zero line yet. So that's kind of what I'm watching for here. BD, good morning. Good to see you. All right, nice little move down here. And it's been kind of holding. You see this little bottom here? This is where it's been trying to hold. And so right here, this candle is testing that right now. Let's see if we can beat that little bottom there. Good morning, Guy. Good to see you. So yeah, right here, we've got this little bottom. Let's see what this candle does. We're right in the testing mode right here. Right there. 687.9 basically on the SPY. Getting a little move up on the VIX, back into the 18.8, pushing toward 19. Let's see what happens there. Bitcoin being a little volatile today, popping up and down. All right, nice, nice, nice. Let's see this bottom here. This is what I'm watching right here. See how the bottom of this candle is exactly flush with the bottom of this candle? That's where they held before. So we need to see them come back down through that to continue the descent. That may or may not happen. Oh, getting a little bounce there. And believe it or not, these moving averages that I have on my chart, even on the minute chart, they do mean something. So right now, this blue line right here, this is the 50 period exponential moving average. It's trying to hold there. See how it's trying to hold on to that line? So these moving averages, they matter on all time frames. They matter. All right, still testing this level. Let's see if we can go any farther. It's very tiny candles. It's not moving fast. I'm not feeling a strong downward thrust yet. It's really looking like it wants to hold here. And if it does, and we turn the MACD upward, we could consider a fast call here. So there's kind of a stronger green candle here. Back down to the 50. Still kind of holding here. And again, like I said earlier, we don't want to rule out the possibility of larger swings in both directions. We've already had a large swing to the upside. Is it possible to have a large swing to the downside? It is. Now today, like I said, the sentiment has definitely been buy the dip today for sure. But like I said, with OPEX coming, with all the data coming, it is possible to see a wild swing to the downside. We don't want to ever be caught off guard, right? Okay, still holding the 50 here. Still testing. Yavalan is here. Good morning. Good to see you. All right, so we're still sitting here testing this 50. Back down to it again. See how it's just respecting it. Isn't it funny how these moving averages matter even on the 1 minute? It's very interesting. I think it has to do with algorithm driven trading. The algorithms see and understand these moving averages. They look for them. All right, back to the 50. Come on now, here we go. Come on. Give us a little something different. We're also battling this red line right here. This is called the point of control. This red line is on a volume profile, is the name of the indicator. And it's telling you that the majority of trades being placed today are happening right here at this red line. So that is where all of the trades are concentrated, and it doesn't mean it has to stay there. It just means it sort of acts as a magnet. And we are still sitting there. No real change yet. We're also sitting right on 6,900. So interesting that the point of control is sitting right at 6,900. That is on the SPX. And that's been a strong support and resistance for weeks. The 6,900 level is very important. So that is exactly where the point of control is sitting. And that is exactly where our price is sitting right now at that 6,900. There we go. Little bit of a move down there. Just a little bit below 6,900. Little break of it. 68.99. Not much to speak of yet. And that's this bottom right here. That's that level. So all the confluence on the charts. Still holding. Little push back up. All right, looks like it's starting to push back up here. Let's see if we can get it to rise up and move this MACD back upward and this average back upward. We could consider calls. Not yet. Really kind of wants to hang out here at 6,900. Here we are. So yeah, no real direction yet. Just kind of hovering in this tiny little area. So while we're waiting, we can also take a look at the Mag 7s and see kind of what they're doing as a whole, as a group, right? That is the ETF that has all the Mag 7s in it. And you know, those are the mega Titan tech stocks, right? The Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Nvidia, Tesla, Google. All right, so here's MAGs. Looking a lot like the SPY, of course, because whereas MAGs goes, so the SPY goes. So if we kind of look at these charts side by side, aren't they similar? Very, very similar to each other. So we started out the day with a pop and the drop and then a big climb, sideways up and little stair steps. And now we're just kind of in a range. So we hit a high roughly at about 1108, which is exactly when we hit the high on the SPX, or I'm looking at the futures, same thing. So the high hit the same time. And now ever since that high, we've kind of just pulled back just a little bit, but not a lot. So that part dropped a little bit more than we did. But basically the idea is we hit a high and we've been sideways. So what we need to see is, are we going to get another leg up? That's the big question. Okay, there's a push. There we go. Okay, There we go. Let's get back over to our SPY and see if we want to consider calls here. MACD is rolling over. The VIX is giving us a little move down. I am going to look at the 688 calls. We are still kind of in this range is the only thing. So let's see what we get here. I'm not in anything. I'm just kind of looking at these calls right now. All right, I'm going to go ahead and jump into these calls. I'm in, punch it. So we are kind of at the top of this range and we need it to sort of push through, right? This little top right here. It's pulling back up a little. Moving back down. If the MACD rolls back over to the negative, I may pull out there. So a little pullback from that push that we had there. Pulling down below the HMA. We're kind of battling a little bit right here at this HMA. There's a little pull up right there. That's good. Let's see if we can move this back up. Hopefully we didn't get stuck in chop. It is a little choppy here. So let's see if we can get back up to the top of this range. A little bit upward here, still under the HMA. Needs a little bit more strength here. Still giving us some chop. And these ranges are super hard to trade. They just are. All right. Little turn down on the HMA. When I say that, I mean to say the whole moving average. That's this blue and pink line here. Nick Groves, hey, good to see you. Really good to see you. Welcome. All right, so the whole moving average is deciding whether we're going to roll over here or not. I'm keeping my eye on that. We'll give this trade a little bit of room here. All right. So again, we do have volume sitting at 689 on the call side. And positive gamma with a call wall still sitting at 690. So these are the overhead targets, which we should be heading toward. There's the push. It's a little better. Let's see if we can pop up toward that top again. That's a little better. We've got that hull moving back up again. So it gave us just a little brief turn here. Let's see if we can keep it moving up. 59. Yep, still ranging. All right, Nick. Mel is a great follow. I followed her for over a year. She's great. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate you. I would love to catch up. Would love to chat with you and find out what you're doing. All right, so I'm still giving this trade some room. We're still sideways. And these sideways ranges, you just don't know how long they can go on. They can be frustrating, but we got to be patient. All right. So what we're looking at is right here. I want it to come up here and hit the top of this volume area. So this is this kind of yellowish line right here is called the volume area high. And that represents where the majority of the trades today have been below this level. All right, still kind of sideways here. Hey, Val, good to see you. First time on YouTube with you. Well, welcome. It's really good to see you guys. Thanks for joining. All right, so let's see if we can get this thing to push up to the volume area high here. It's just sideways right now. And usually when we are seeing sideways behavior in the market, it really means that underneath the surface, we're either accumulating or distributing, meaning that the bigger money is buying or selling under the surface. And it's hard to tell which one is happening. We also would call that accumulation and distribution. It is hard to tell what the direction is. You can sort of see it as they bring it up and down. You can sort of see it, but sometimes it's a little hidden. Usually these ranges will break, well, they always break to the up or the downside based on what's been happening underneath the hood. Are we accumulating? Are we distributing? Nick Groves, are you feeling bearish or bullish equities from a weekly perspective? The ranges have been brutal after all of the fear between gold, silver, crypto. Feels like maybe pessimism is almost over. That is such a great question, Nick. I do think that in the big picture, I am feeling more bearish than bullish. But I do think in the short term, we could turn and make a run for the all-time high. I do think that that is still a possibility. It's still in the playbook potentially, but I think over the next weeks, I do think we should be starting a move down. All right. And speaking of move down, got a little red candle here, right here sitting on our 50. A great question, Nick. What are you thinking? So it sounds like you're thinking maybe we're pushing back up again. You're feeling more bullish. And we certainly could be. We absolutely could be. All right, Guy, could see a short squeeze on tech. Yeah, that could happen. Absolutely, Guy. There's been a lot of shorting in the tech market. Yep. So Nick, Gut says the shakeout is either within a day or will be delayed weeks. PCE could trigger it. I agree with you there. PCE is going to be a big deal. PCE is on Friday. I was talking about that at the top of the stream. Also, don't forget that OPEX, so options expiration, is also Friday. So we could see some big swings in both directions between here and Friday. So absolutely. All right, we're starting to roll over on the MACD. I might pull the plug on this trade. Let's see what we get here. All right, that's nice. Little push there. Come on now. Let's get back up to that top. 57. So still ranging. That's what we're doing right now. And we got, unfortunately, this trade, we got stuck in the range. So that's a bummer. We'll give this a little bit more time to play out. All right, there's a little push here. All right, back down through the 50. But yeah, great perspective, Nick. I think there's a lot of truth in what you're saying, that the PCE and the OPEX could really trigger a directional move. And we have been stuck in the big picture in this range for like 6 weeks, like since the end of October. Is that 6 weeks or 8 weeks? It's a lot, basically. November, December, January, 12 weeks, I guess, right? We've been stuck in this range for a long time. And it's a big range, but it does need to break, and it will break. All right. So they're not quite dropping it yet, and they're not pushing it yet. So just waiting for another test of this high right here. Not yet. See how many times it keeps hitting this 50? That is this blue line right here. It just keeps hitting it. We'll break right there. All right, breaking this point of control here. I'm going to go ahead and jump out here. I'm going to stop out at 22% negative. Just because we're breaking this point of control. I think it could bounce back up, but I don't want to hang around any longer in this trade. So not a bad loss, 22%, not a big deal. That we will come back and recover that in another trade or two. But really important, guys, to keep your stops. That really matters. So as we hit the bottom of the range, I don't want to take a chance that this thing is going to continue to drop, and I think that it might. So, all right, how are you feeling about crypto? I'm slowly becoming a bull from an investing standpoint. 65K in Bitcoin is intriguing. It's dropped 50%. Typical weekly RSI signals here have marked great lows. I agree with you, Nick. I've been a bull on crypto for a really long time, and I've got my butt handed to me trading it, right? But I'm super bullish on crypto. I think it's a great buy here at 67. Look at this drop. Okay, I'm glad we're out, guys. I'm very glad we're out. Coming down a little bit here. Yeah, I'm definitely a crypto bull for sure. And I think that it is a great buy here. All right, starting to jump back up here. We haven't quite let this range go yet. All right. What is different about prior RSI reads that it came at the bottom of a one-year pullback with so many more retail and institutional traders involved in crypto? Maybe this level in BTC holds. I think it does hold, Nick, because I think that, in my opinion, just like what happened with silver, I think there was a lot of big money manipulating it. There are a lot of ETFs now over Bitcoin. And I think it was manipulated down so that big money, just like silver, so that big money could, get their hands on people's Bitcoin, people's silver for really cheap prices. So something that I think is just a big manipulation. And you've got, Scott Bessent saying we need the Clarity Act. This administration is very pro crypto. And so there's institutional adoption. The administration is behind it. I think it's a matter of time before crypto comes back up. And I think it's only a matter of time before crypto really starts running the rails of our financial system. I really do believe that. So now the big banks are fighting that tooth and nail, but you know what they're doing quietly? They're all building their own stable coins and crypto rails. That's what they're doing behind the scenes. So as they block, you know, this try to block this exodus over to crypto, they're quietly building their own. So that's something that I think it's all going to play out here at some point. But yes, I'm definitely a big crypto bull. All right, so we are coming down here a bit. Here's a drop. All right. Do we want to consider puts here? We're not to the VWAP yet. We are breaking this range. So it's been, you know, almost a little head and shoulders looking. We're coming down through the 100. So we could consider puts here. Volume picking up here. Sometimes that can signal a reversal. Let's see what happens on this candle. See how the volume jumped up here? Look at that. See how the volume's jumping? That's popping. Now let's watch and see what happens with this candle. Either they're reversing it or they're getting ready to go farther down. All right. Got 8 puts. Good luck, guy. Pop on the VIX here. All right. I'm jumping in the 688 puts. I'm in. Punch it. It's coming down a bit. All right, giving us a little push here. Here we go. Great question, Nick. I'm going to answer that in just 1 second here. I'm just watching this trade. Trying to hold right here at the 687. Let's see if we can break that. All right, little move back down. A little bit green here. There we go. All right, I'm going to jump out here at 6%. Punch it. I'm out. Hopefully you jumped out too there, Guy. I don't know if you're holding longer, but back to your question, Nick. Um, yeah, ranges are huge, Nick. And it's the hard part is there are so many different levels to look at, right? Okay, here we go. Nice little drop there. Beautiful. We like that. Nice drop. See if that keeps going. All right. Um, so yeah, levels are the really one of the hardest things to learn. BD out at 125, nicely done. Guy got out at 21%. Beautiful, guys. Excellent trade. So yeah, the problem with ranges is that they are, the truth is they're accurate, but there are so many different places and ways to put your levels. Two different levels that I always track are overnight high and low of the previous day, and previous over pre-market high and low, and then previous day high and low. I track those. And then I also track a ton of different support and resistance levels. And I usually just find those by where price kind of stalls or hits its head. And those areas absolutely are valid, Nick. And so you're absolutely right. And it is challenging. You really have to start, there's no other way, but you've got to read the charts and you've got to become an expert at it. And I know you're really good with levels too, Nick, and you've been looking at charts for a long time. So all right, everyone. Well, that is going to bring us to the end of the stream. We took one loss, we took one win. I'm going to continue to trade today. My trading plan for today is I'm still watching this drop here. And again, I'm still keeping in the back of my mind the idea that we can see bigger swings based on OPEX coming. And by the way, don't forget we have FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. Eastern. That is also something that can definitely push the market one direction or another. So be aware of that. But that's my trading plan. I'm going to continue to watch this drop and see how far we go. I'm open to calls if it turns and we start getting another push up in the upward direction. But I'm glad we got out of that call when we did. Took a small loss on it. I'm okay with that. I'll continue to play puts if this thing continues to drop as well. So guys, thank you so much for joining. I'm really glad that you were all here today and so good to see all of you. Val, Nick, Gavilan, Anna, BD, Guy. I appreciate all of you guys for joining. And if you haven't said hi in the chat, I appreciate you too. So thank you guys so much. We'll be back again tomorrow at 11 Eastern and we'll take some more trades together. Bye for now.